Debugging is the process of fixing any of our problems with the code such that the function will run and do what we want it to do. We are going to try 3 different methods as outlined here lower on the page. First, let's take a look at this function, reverse text. Let's copy it and put it in as a function in our program. So I'll copy it, Control C, and Alt F11, and let's paste it up here so that we can see it. So now we have this function. Let's go try it out. Now the idea is if you put in something, like I'll put in my last name here, and then we say reverse text, we want it to go Y-R-E-S-E-M, just the opposite. So equals reverse, oh, it found it, tab, I'll put in Maservi and hit enter. It didn't do it. It just gave me back the same word exactly how I put it in. Let's go take a look and see how we can figure out what's going on, why it didn't give us the same word in reverse order. One way to do this that we've kind of looked at before is you can click over here on the left-hand side. That will break it, or it will stop the code running when it gets to this point. And then we'll come examine what we can learn from that. So I'll go back. I have to get it started running by rerunning the function. I cannot just go up here and say run or run up here. For a function, you have to start it on the worksheet and have it run from there. It's returning something, of course. So here, reverse text, and I'll hit enter. Now it stopped over here. I can see if I hover over text variable that it says my name, and text length is still 0, I is 0, so everything else is pretty much just 0 except for reverse text is blank. So we have text variable. I want to take the length of that and put that here. So I hit F8 is execute 1 line at a time. And now if I hover over text length, you can see it's 7. So the next one says for I, which is 0 right now, start it with text length. So start at 7 and go to 1 by going down 1 each time we go through this loop. So I hit that. Now I can see I is 7. Good. Reverse text is still blank. So I'm going to take the 7th character of Maservi here, 1 character, and I'm going to concatenate it with reverse text. Now reverse text says Y. That's exactly what I want. I is still 7, but I hit F8, and now it's 6. So it's now set to 6. I go here, and reverse text is still Y. I hit F8, and reverse text is now VY. Oh, so I put it in front rather than put it behind the Y. So we know right now why it's not working. I've got these two reversed, where I'm putting it and the reverse text. I need to change those around. And this is still 6, but then I hit it F8 again, and it's 5 and so forth. Okay, so again, and now it's RVY. Okay, so we know what's wrong. I'm going to either break or I'll just click here and say finish running that out. Another method that we could do is we can use the debug print. So I'm going to put it right here in the middle of the loop. Debug.print. And what do I want it to print? Well, it's going to print to my immediate window anything I put after this. I want to see what that value of the Y is each time I go through the loop. And let's concatenate that with maybe a couple of spaces so it doesn't run together. Concatenated with reverse text. Okay, now let's see what happens. Let's go to the other side, our spreadsheet, and I'll click on the function again and get it started. Okay, it ran. I'm still getting the survey. Let's see what results we have. And to bring up my immediate window, I hit Control G. Or I could go up here and say View and Immediate Window. Well, I can see the first time it went through, I was 7 and it picked out the Y. Then it was 6 and it put the V in front of the Y. 5, put the R in front of that. Okay, that tells me exactly what was going on and why this is an error. Okay, that was good. Let's try one more way of doing this. I can also say View and use a watch window. We'll make this a little bit bigger so that we can see it better. And maybe I want to watch this I. So right-clicked on I and say Add Watch. And I'll just say OK. And I'm going to right-click on Reverse Text and say Add Watch. OK. You can see that put those down here in this watch window. When you have lots of variables that you want to look over, sometimes this is the fastest, best way to do it. Then I don't have to hover over the individual variables. But you notice right now it says out of context. I have to get the function running and stop in the middle of it in order to see what these variables are at any one point in time. So again, I'm going to put a stop here, and maybe I put it down here at the next I so it's run through each time it runs through a loop. Okay, let's get it started. I have to go over here, click on my function, and then come up here in the formula bar and hit enter. Okay, the first time through, I is 7 and reverse text is Y. I can hit the F8 key, and now I is 6 and reverse text is VY. Or I can run one iteration of the loop here, and now I is 5 and reverse text is RVY. So I'm seeing the same type of things, but I'm not having to hover over each variable that I want to take a look at. Okay, let's just finish this off and let it finish running. We know what's wrong, so let's go up here and fix it. This needs to go afterwards, so I'm going to Control X, cut it, and delete that ampersand. Come over here, I'm going to paste it, and then paste in a concatenate ampersand. Okay, hopefully now this fixes it. So we'll go back, Alt F11, and let's rerun this. Ah, that's much better. YVRESEM. Okay, we've got it working now. The function is fixed, or debugged as we put it. Let's do something else just for the fun of it. It won't be on any test or exam or any homework, but it's worth taking just a couple of minutes while we're here. First of all, sometimes you don't want others to view your code. We want some protection. So to do that, you can come up here to your project that you're working on, right-click, and say VBA Project Properties. And then I go to Protection. And I can lock that for viewing and put in a password. I'll just do a real simple one here because I'm not going to keep this. Okay. Now when I save this, it will be saved with that password, and I'll need it in order to get into it. Let me go to the other side here, and I'll do a File, Save As, and I'll save it as a different name slightly. Let's see. Maybe I'll put just X here at the end. Save. Now I could have saved it as the same name, but I want to use this again, so I won't do that. And let's get out. I'm going to go open this up now. And there's my one with the X. And let's go take a look at the code. Alt F11. And I see it's up here. Let me open it up. Just like Solver and other programs, it won't let me get in to see the code unless I know the password. I put in the password and say OK. Now I can see the sheets, or I can see the modules. Double click on that and I have access to it after that. One other thing you may want to do that I've done, and that is if I have lots of different functions or code that I want to have available all the time, I can create my own add-in. To do that, I would simply go File, Save As, and let's come down here. I would save it as XL Add-in, XLAM. An XL add-in then is just like Solver or these other add-ins. When I save it that way, when I open it up again, it'll save it with my other add-ins, such as Solver. And then I need to remember, though, that when I want to use that, I need to go File, Options, and Add-ins. Okay, and my add-in would be here among this list of other add-ins that are available. I would click on the add-in I want and then say Go, and it would be one of these boxes here that then I would click on to say go ahead and use this add-in. Enjoy your functions and write some good ones that you want to always have with you. This way I can just have the add-in on my home computer, on my work computer, and I use it to grade all your homework and send you the email.